Welcome to the 18th edition of the Emirates Women Award. I'm Rassel Qasim, a chair member of the Awards Development Committee. This year's award took on a new look, whether in terms of categories, criteria, or the way of participation. Let's learn together about the new awards and discover how to be part of it. The award was established in 2003 with the support and patronage of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum. It was to mention here that in the last 18 years, the award didn't stop in any of the past cycles. Despite all the difficulties and challenges that faced the entire world, this counts for the award office and of course for the custodians. This cycle is special because a radical change has been made in the award categories, criteria, and the way of participation. So we can say that the award has taken on a completely new look this year. I think that the purpose of the award is clear, and we can talk about it in short. That it's to honor the outstanding women in the United Arab Emirates, whether they are citizens or residents. The award also set a number of goals since it was launched, such as motivating and empowering businesswomen, as well as professionals, and publicizing their achievements, and of course their contribution in developing the economic sector in general. Of course, the award, like any other award, aim to create an atmosphere of positive competition for the benefit of all. Any of the attendees may ask, what will I benefit from participating in the Emirates Women's Award? The benefits are many actually, such as supporting the winners, whether by highlighting their projects or achievements, and of course the professional networking. So it's an opportunity for participants to network and communicate. From the benefits, also providing feedback reports. All participants will be provided with feedback reports that showing the most significant strengths and areas for improvements. Certainly the award is an opportunity for all of you, all participants, to express themselves and of course their distinction in the society. Before I talk about categories and criteria, I must thank the development committee, especially my colleagues Dr. Rita Younes and Ms. Ahlam Helin, who worked hard actually and had the biggest role during the past months in developing the award and showing it in its new look. So thank you very much. Actually, we got inputs for development from several channels. All the participants in the previous cycles were active participants, and a good number of them provided us with feedback and some useful suggestions. So this input was considered and translated into the new model. The award office had a key role, of course, because of its daily supervision, so it was able to identify some areas for development. Also, many of the assessors provided us with adequate and high quality suggestions actually for development also. The awards jury had some guidance and some constructive opinions. Of course, it was essential to refer to the best international practices and trends also. So as well as the latest trend in the United Arab Emirates, in addition to the ideas of the development committee. So all the inputs were collected and to develop the categories and develop standards and participation guidelines. These are the new awards this year, and as you can see, they have changed radically. There are 10 separate categories, each with its own criteria. The new categories are divided between business and professional women, and there are also categories related to leadership, innovation, and social work. We also see the culture and arts category, which is completely new to the award. If we want to go a little deeper into the 10 categories, the first award is the Leadership Award, which is for outstanding successful women leaders. Of course, a participant must have documented achievements in leadership or supervisory work. There are two general conditions for participation that must be met in order for any of the women to participate in any of the awards. The first condition is that the applicant is a citizen of the United Arab Emirates or that she is an official resident of the country. And the second condition is that she works in the UAE. So these two conditions are obligatory to participate in any of the 10 categories. As for the leadership category, there is only one additional condition, that the applicant should have a leadership position. We must point out that the philosophy of the new model relates to two main things. The first one is simplicity, and the second thing is flexibility. So simplicity and flexibility are the two key words in the new model. So what does it mean? It means that the applicant have a room to introduce as many information as they want, relative information and achievements in different fields, but within a general framework. This general framework is a criterion. There are 4 criteria required in this category. The first criterion is that participants or applicants affect those around them positively. Of course, investment and encouragement of the human element she work with, and must or she must be a role model for others, as well as the work team, and work with her subordinates who they must be empowered to achieve their goals, whether in individual way or within the institutional framework. Of course, she must be distinguished in terms of professional achievements, especially in the field of specialization, which is the field of leadership in which she participates. Of course, leadership skills are essential. Developing these skills in addition to her ability to learn and acquire skills. New information also, acquiring new information is important, and balancing her professional and personal life. As we know that there are 4 criteria, although these criteria are clear, they are to a large extent flexible. Therefore, we believe that the majority of the achievements that participation or the participants want to include in the application document can be included in one of these 4 criteria. The second category is a professional award. Of course, what's meant by the professional sector, female professionals with professions. Participants may be a doctor, an engineer, school teacher, or working in any other profession. Of course, she must be recognized and pioneer in her professional field in order to be competitive and get positive results. As for the conditions of participation, the same 2 general conditions in addition to an additional one. that she must have at least 3 years of experience in the field of specialization. About the criteria, there are also 4 criteria, goes under the title of simplicity and flexibility. Firstly, of course, reaching clear achievements and financial or non-financial results. This is important. She must show positive results in her professional field. She also should have a social role and on the local and national level, maybe charitable and environmental contributions. In general, it's necessary to prove the active social contribution. Of course, to be a role model and a source of inspiration to others and those around her. The more participants achieve these criteria, the more it increases their chances of competing and winning. The third award is the Distinguished Employee Award. Of course, participation is limited to female employees, whether they work in public sector or the private sector. In addition to the 2 general conditions, there is an additional one. The participant must have more than 10 years of work experience. We expect that participants to achieve results that exceeds its normal job duties and to set an example in performance and achievements. As for the 4 criteria, of course, achievements at the career level and at the professional level, such as appraisal results, promotions, rewards, etc. Personal development is very important and must be continuous and sustainable through acquiring the appropriate skills. She also should contribute effectively to the achievements of the entity she works for, whether it's at the level of the entity as a whole or at the level of the department or business unit in which she works. The applicant should show commitment to social issues and have an active participation in community work. In a nutshell, this award for female employees who have more than 10 years of experience. The next award is also for female employees, but distinguished young category. Because during the previous award cycles we found distinguished professional female employees, but when comparing and doing the assessment, we found that some of the participants had many years of experience, so they had the opportunity to achieve more results and accomplishments. So we decided to separate this category into 2 awards. The same criteria applied to both categories, but the only difference is eligibility participation criteria. So the applicant must be under 30 years old. For employee award, 10 years of experience is required. For a young employee award, we adopt the age criterion, not year of experience. Because in some cases, one of the participants may begin her career path at a relatively old age. Therefore, if we only take years of experience, we may not achieve the goal of this category, which is to focus on highlighting skills and excellence among the young group and new and younger generation. The Emirates Women Award for Outstanding Entrepreneurs. We are talking here about the female entrepreneur who must have started a business and demonstrated a degree of dedication and success, and the ability to take risks and take bold decisions. Of course, there are 2 general conditions as in the rest of the awards, but there are also 2 special conditions for participation in this category. First, of course, the female entrepreneur must be the founder of a startup company, and the age of the startup project should not exceed 5 years. The criteria required in this category begin with innovation, whether it's creativity or innovation in the field of work, of course by transforming traditional practice or business into a new offering, or to innovate products, innovate services, or new work methodologies. We look at novelty and innovation in the nature of the work that it has been undertaken. Of course, positive results for the project must be achieved, whether they are financial results or according to the nature of the work, which may be non-financial results, of course. Sometimes we look at the ability of participants to express the spirit of entrepreneurship. We talk about involving others, we talk about empowering others, we talk about flexibility and speed in performing work and dealing with problems and challenges with high flexibility. And of course, it's also important to prove community participation, business or tasks that she undertakes, and her ability to create opportunities for others through the projects that she's supervising. Some women entrepreneurs have successful businesses, and they have a large amount of experience, and they established many projects, so it became easier and easier for them. While we noticed women entrepreneurs who are still at a young age or at the beginning of their career, so it becomes more difficult and challenging for them. So we decided here also to encourage this young group, and we established a new category as the Young Entrepreneur Award. Also here we consider the age criterion, so the participant must be between 18 and 35 years old, and she must have a successful business activity and be able to prove it. The age of the startup must not be more than 5 years. The applied criteria stay the same as for the female entrepreneur, but as I mentioned, the only difference here is in age to allow young women to highlight their excellence. The Business Awards category, there are women entrepreneurs who established successful projects and large companies. These projects are required to prove exceptionally success or impressive. It's necessary to demonstrate the ability to add something new, and of course to demonstrate a spirit of social responsibility. Participation is open to any businesswoman who has run a pioneering organization or a successful organization for more than 5 years. Participants must be directly involved in the management of the institution, not just the ownership of the company. Considering here is the number of years of activity, which must be more than 5 years. As for the criteria, they include innovation and the provision of new services or products, as well as achieving positive results at work, the ability to think strategically and foresee the future. Here we mean long-term planning, as well as having a strategic vision for the project, especially since the project has been in place for more than 5 years. So how does she manage this project or in a strategic way? and of course a distinguished community role for these participants. There is also an award for outstanding women in the field of social work, but this category differs from what we mentioned of social responsibility activities in the criteria of a few awards. This award is given to women who have made significant contributions to improving the lives of others through the supervision of programs, initiatives, or projects that have proven a positive impact on society. Participants must be responsible for an institution or managing a charitable organization or activities related to the community and social work. As for the criteria, there are 4 criteria. As it's similar or as followed in the rest of the awards, participants must prove the impact of their positive work, whether on people or on society. Innovation is also required to solve societal problems and provide added value to the community. They must have the ability to motivate and lead change, and to also deal with the change in their field. It worth to also mention the commitment to directing and providing support, advice and guidance through several works or several community activities within the framework of the project or within the framework of the initiative that they are running. In short, we are talking about results, innovation, leadership capabilities, activities, and societal achievements. The 9th award is about innovation, dedicated to female innovators, where women who have made tangible innovation contributions or succeeded in making a radical change in the society or in the field of work can participate in this award. This category is open to all women who sees herself able to compete or has achievement that qualifies her to participate in this award and in this category is welcome. The woman can be a pioneer, a businesswoman, or even an employee in any public or private entity. It's required in this category to mention the innovation accomplishment by participant, as well as demonstrating an innovator mindset, accepting risk, challenging the status quo, and willingness to go through experiments without fear of failure, as well as learning from failure. Here we are talking about rapid and inexpensive failure and the importance of achieving results, whether financial results or non-financial results. We also look at the level of effectiveness of the innovative work carried out and its reproducibility and generalizability. It's important to look at the results of innovation in general and of course a personal commitment to allocate part of it directly or indirectly to promote social actions. The last award is dedicated to culture and the arts. Like the woman who has accomplished important achievements in the fields of arts in its broadest sense. It can be in the humanitarian and social field, whether it's in language, in history, philosophy, etc., or in literature such as writing, poetry, story, or the novel. It can also be in other fine arts, and here we talk about drawing, photography, and so on. Participants must have clear and profound achievements in the fields of culture and art. As we look at the cultural or artistic achievements that they have achieved. and the extent to which they share the national values and culture. The values of the United Arab Emirates in particular, of course. Also the positive impact of what they do on the cultural community, or how their work can elevate cultures through having a vision and a leadership skills, or through a clear creative or innovative work. It's important to be a role model and to be an inspiration to others. These are in brief the 10 new awards and the assessment and eligibility criteria for each one. The award will follow a particular path that starts with official launch, awareness and promotion, which is the level we are in now. Then receiving applications before the deadline mentioned on the award website. After that, the applications will be sorted and an initial or disc assessment conducted. The assessors will interview the shortlisted applicants. The assessment outcome then will be tuned and reviewed as final assessment. There are other milestones like presenting and approving the assessment outcome from the higher committee, leading to the announcement of the results, usually at the honoring ceremony. After that, of course, feedback reports will be sent to all applicants. Now, how do you participate in the award? Among the updates that took place in this cycle is the awards website, which is currently a totally new website. You can reach it through the same domain address, ewa.ee. The beginning is by going to the site and choosing the participate option, then choosing the award category. And here it should be noted that participation is in one category only. So we know that in some cases participants may meet the conditions required in more than one category, and here she must make a decision and compare where is the best opportunity and the most appropriate category for her. After that, personal information should be entered, and personal and identification documents should be provided according to the category, such as a passport or residence visa for non-nationals. In some categories, a commercial license is required. Then add the information for each of the 4 criteria, a maximum of 200 words for each criterion. The supporting evidence is then attached, and 4 evidence are allowed for each of the 4 criteria. That's mean a total of 16 evidence only. If the applicant wishes, she can record a personal video that speaks about herself or introduces herself and why she deserves to win the award. And but please note this is optional. After that, the term and condition must be accepted and the participation fee is paid. The submission then can be sent online to the award office, and the participation will be confirmed via email. As it's now clear that the awards and criteria as well as way of participation have changed in this cycle. Now it's necessary to focus on the useful information, and the most important one that 200 words in each criterion is not enough to write everything you want. So it's necessary to choose the information related to this criterion or this category only. For example, when we talk about the leadership category, we expect that all the information mentioned is related to the leadership role of applicant. She may have other good achievements and deserve to be included, but they are not direct leadership actions or serve the leadership achievements. So here these actions are not considered among the most important actions, and we advise not to include it in the submission. Of course, technical requirements must be considered, such as the number of words and other requirements. Choosing the most appropriate category is very important. Check out the categories in detail, and for each category, check the requirement and criteria, and then conduct a quick assessment by your own, and decide which category is the most suitable for you. The information should be recent, but the last 3 years or the last 5 years have not been specified. Given the nature of the award and the new rule put for it, therefore it's up to the applicant to choose and highlight the best achievements. Of course, during the assessment, whenever the achievements are important and the more recent they are, the more they could help in obtaining a greater score. But it's up to the participant to imagine what's deemed appropriate. And this is a translation of what I mentioned at the beginning of this session about flexibility in standards and the new way of looking at it. It's recommended to write the information in a clear and simple way. It's always useful to show the causal relationship between the actions you take and the results you achieve. It's also important to distribute the information in the related criteria. For evidence and attachments, try to use tables and lists to best utilize the limited number of attachments allowed. In this cycle, there will be an assessment system that adapts to recent changes, whether in awards categories or criteria. But in general, the matrix that will be used consists of 4 levels that express the ability of participants to meet the criteria. The more the applicants meet the requirements, the more they get a higher assessment score. At the end, you can contact the award office at any time to answer any questions related to the award. My best wishes to you all.